Hi guys. Today was supposed to be my 80k sub special. But we're not quite there yet, actually. I thought I would get 80k by this Friday. And that didn't really happen. We're about 80 subscribers away. But because next week is Halloween, I'm just gonna do it today, because I'm probably gonna get to 80k by tomorrow anyways. So hi guys, how are all of you? Very, very nice comments in the chat. Thank you guys. How's it going, you guys? How is everyone's Friday? We'll have a little yap session before we get into my favorite story of the SCP Wiki, which is And So the Crows Laughed, which is kind of the origin story for Alagata, which is like my favorite fictional setting ever, and it also kind of involves my favorite character, SCP-035, aka Dio. I'm hot. Hi girly, hi Naomi Silver, how are you? That's so cute. Okay, your profile picture is N, and the person right above you, their profile picture is Uzi, and it's like really similar. You guys are like twinning. But anyways, your favorite SCP is SCP-682. What do you mean X3? 682X3? I don't know what X3 means. You're not the only one on my channel whose favorite is 682. It's cool, it's a really cool SCP. Personally, I don't really see the appeal to where, like, it's your favorite, but, like, you know. You do you. I'm not judging. I understand it. But anyways, my favorite is SCP-035. Okay, good taste. And 999. I almost forgot to grab 999. Let me get him. He's gonna sit in my lap as always, meaning you guys won't really be able to see him, but that's fine. I also got a box of Timbits to celebrate. I also got this thing from the dollar store. But anyways, let's have a little yapping session. How are you guys doing? It's almost the weekend. Well, it is the weekend. I'll take your whole stock. You guys can buy this. This is on the, it's a website called SCP Swag. And you can find this plushie there. I think it was like around $40 CAD when I bought it. And it does take a little while to deliver. I think it took like 2 or 3 months for me to get this, but it's so worth it. I always say this. It is so, like, full of stuffing that you can, like, really fucking squeeze this thing. It's like a stress reliever, like a giant stress reliever. Oh, but anyways, I might make like a makeshift fan or something. I'll probably get used to the heat though. Anyways, I'm feeling... You're feeling a what, to be honest, girl? What about you? You censored a word that's 4 letters that begins with S? And I don't know which one it is. Hi, Hawk! How are you? What's y'all's Halloween costumes? I'm going as a plague doctor, but all of my stuff isn't in yet, actually. A lot of my stuff comes in, like, a few days before Halloween, or, like, the day before Halloween. Meaning, depending on what it is, if something doesn't come in, I'm kind of screwed. I'm so mad, because one of the things that I bought that I waited for was contact lenses. I paid like $20 for them, so it was like the cheapest thing out of everything that I bought for the costume. They dropped it off to my fucking neighbor's house instead of my house. and somebody stole a package. So I'll just get contact lenses off of Amazon, I guess. That's the first time that my family, me and my family, we order things to our house, like, a lot. Like, whether it's DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, like, clothes deliveries, things like that, like, from Amazon. We order things to our house a lot. That's the first time that somebody has ever dropped off something to my neighbor's house instead of mine. Because there's numbers on the front of our houses that tell us which house is, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how they mixed up the houses. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can find contact lenses in time. But anyways, I'm wearing the same clothes as you, but black. Is that a wild chance? Are you in a black dog onesie right now? There's no way. This is gonna be my backup Halloween costume if my stuff doesn't come in. I don't know. I think it should be fine though. Like, I can do without the contact lenses because, I don't know. I don't know, why I thought, okay, sorry, I didn't think before I ate. Aw, thank you, vampire. I forgot what I was gonna say. The rules! I need to put the rules into the chat. I need to put the rules into the chat. Which means the music is gonna get turned off. Just for a little bit. Just for a little bit so I can pin the rules. And then we'll put the music on again. Here we go. Thank you, Hawk. Okay. Got the rules pinned. I have a question for you guys. Hold on, just in a second. I have a question for you guys. For Canadians, specifically. Song of Storms Extended. Okay. So I took a bite out of this. I've never seen this type of Timbit before in my life. What flavor is this? It looks like coconut or like peanut or something, but I genuinely can't tell what flavor like these flakes are. I don't know what they are. It's really good though. So, if anyone is Canadian, it's a flavor of shit. No, it's not. These are Timbits. Okay. These are Timbits. They're, really popular in Canada at Tim Hortons. They're literally just like mini donut balls. Hold on, I'm an Italian, not a Canadian, but I think it's not. I don't know. The texture is kind of like coconuts, but it doesn't really have like a strong taste, so I can't tell if it is coconut or not. I don't know. Epsilon and I have been planning for Bisaline? You're gonna have to, like, I don't know, I really don't know how that's pronounced. In DMs, and I'm so fucking hyped already. Inhaling info left, right, and center. Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I heard that it's a week-long event from Epsilon, but I'm not gonna be able to do the full week. Because I have a pet centipede and I don't feel comfortable leaving her for a full week because nobody knows how to or wants to take care of a centipede, you know? Like, my family would do it, but, like, I don't trust them to do it properly, and also, I can't just hire a pet sitter to look after a centipede. I don't know. She's so small, too. I don't know. I don't trust anyone with her. But anyways, yeah. I went to your channel and noticed you were- hold on, the chat went out. I noticed you were alive. You mean live? While I was watching creepypastas. Oh, nice! Oh, nice. Yeah, the channel's coming back to life again. That's great. What's my least favorite SCP? My least favorite SCP, I hate it so much that I don't even tell people that it's my least favorite SCP, because I don't want people knowing about it. Very, very overhyped SCP though. Like, very overhyped. That's all I'm gonna say. I have a tendency to yap way more than I mean to, so I'm gonna move on before I say too much. But yeah, my least favorite SCP, I don't like so much that I don't even tell people about, because I don't want to give it any recognition. I genuinely kind of don't understand how it's even in the wiki still. I think it should have gotten removed around the time that, like, you know, SCPs, like, the original 166 was removed, and Bright was removed, and fucking... Some of that shit makes me fucking angry, but... Damn. Anyways. Better not be it's not the Doctor! The Doctor is one of my favorite SCPs. Oh, favorite UK chocolate. Either Curly Whirlies or Flakes. But Buttons are good too. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Buttons are UK or not. I just remember having them a lot in the UK. And I don't really see them that much in Canada. What's that chocolate bar that's like... There used to be a chocolate bar that I had in England when I was done ballet classes every day. And they used to sell them, like, outside of class. And I'd always bug my mum for them. They were like, I think they were the same brand as Buttons. Because I remember it tasting similar, and I remember it had like a purple wrapping, I'm pretty sure. But it had like a frog on it, like it was shaped like a frog. But it was really good. Okay, Snipperdoodles, Curly Whirly. Yeah, I know, some of them have dumb names, okay? God forbid we're silly. Yesterday was my birthday. I had fun celebrating it. Aww! Happy late birthday! Violet, oh, ignore my dogs. Wait, what? Wanna something cute about my husky. Wanna know something cute about your husky? For sure. Yes, I do. I'm out of Earl Grey, it's a problem? I'm so sorry for you. I ran out of Earl Grey recently, but I have coffees that kinda does it for now. I don't know. Talk about the SCPs? Oh, we will. But I can't spend too much time over today, because after I'm done this stream, I have to bring my, sister to dance. And I have to pick her up too, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? What's the plan? I'm gonna bring her to dance, then I'm gonna be at, like, a cafe, restaurant, I don't know, I'm not telling you where, for, like, about, like, an hour or so, I think? And then I'm coming to pick her up again, and then we're going home. Or I might bring her somewhere, and then we'll go home. But anyways... Yeah, so I can't yap too much overtime today. But we don't have that much to read. So today we're gonna finish reading SCP-035's, files, specifically the addendum logs, because we didn't really get, past that last stream. And we're also gonna read... Well, I already told you guys, we're gonna be reading And So the Crows Laughed, which is, like, my favorite fucking story ever. I don't know. But yeah, we'll yap for a little longer first. Well, let's get settled in here. I want to eat a little bit of these Timbits too, because I don't want to be, like, eating while I'm reading. What about the hubby? Gotta pay attention to the hubby, am I right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird, because... Like, Alagana, is written by, shit, I completely forgot. It's at the back of my tongue, I'm gonna look it up. I think I was subscribed to their Patreon for, like, months. So I don't know how I forgot their name. Let me see. Alagata author. I'm gonna kick myself once I get this name. Metaphysian, who created the Court of Alagata while other authors have contributed to the lore. That's totally true. Tiny Watchman. Which one was it that wasn't Tiny Watchman or was it Metaphysic? I don't know. One of them I was like subbed to their Patreon for a while. I don't know, just as a thanks for making my favorite thing ever, kinda. But yeah, it's kind of weird because the author for Dio, Cain Pathos Crow, is not the same author for like Alagata, and under that law, I don't know, the same character is written by two different people. It's like, I don't know, cause I'm just gonna assume you guys know what I'm talking about from my last streams. The Black Lord of Alagata is Dio, aka 035. But the creator of the Black Lord isn't the same as the creator of SCP-035. So it's kind of like if somebody, like, wrote a character and then someone else wrote, like, a prequel for them. Kind of. I don't know. But anyways, that's for another day. That's not really, like, that related. Oh no, I closed out of the tab that... Hold on. I had the SCP wiki pulled up on my tablet and then I exited the tab. Okay, we got it. Violet Her Majesty, do you remember me? Kind of. I kind of remember your username, I think. Oh. Hi, Frothy! How are you? Also, somebody said, where do you get that hoodie? It's not a hoodie. I don't know where I got- okay, hold on. It's a onesie. Oh my god. If I fall, you guys better clip it. But yeah, it's a onesie. My sister got it online, but it was too big for her. So I was like, can I have it? She's like, you don't want to refund it? I'm like, no, I want it. So, I have it. But anyways, I don't know where she got it from. These Timbits are the best right here. The ones with, like, the dough that, like, crushes really easily. Like, the very fluffy, airy ones. Mmm. 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 1 second. It turns out I was wrong. That was filled with jelly. That's not the one I was talking about, but that was really good. I think it's this one. I don't know. Mmm. Wait, what? I am literally wearing my fully leather SCP Doctor? What? And my metal mask is digging in my face and it's hot. That sounds cool as hell though. Remuru, if you post that on like your community page, I'll check it out on stream. That sounds really cool. Seems like you're going for like what I did at first, where you were gonna do like a mix of like the original design and the newer design. I'm going completely for the newer design. So I need to go to the mall tomorrow, actually, to pick up some things. I just need to go out in general to pick up some things. I need to get some paint and artsy and crafty stuff. I'll see if anywhere sells contact lenses, but I don't think anywhere will. I don't know. What's my favorite type of cookie? Me and my sister, not too long ago for Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, we made maple... What was it? It was maple and pumpkin cookies with like a cream cheese pumpkin icing on top. So good. Literally the best cookies I ever had in my life. So, why do I get asked that question a lot. What's your favorite type of cookie? I finally have an answer, so yay. But yeah, I don't have the mask yet for... okay, so here are the things that I don't have. I don't have the... So the hood I have, but I don't have like the shoulder part. So here's the thing. The Plague Doctor has something called a cowl, which is literally, like, for example, it looks like... You see how like the hood of like my onesie kind of looks like its own thing, where like you got the like this thing draping over the shoulders and you've got the hood? That's basically what a cowl is. A cowl is literally just like a hood that goes like down and like has like a little bit of fabric over. But the cowl that I got only goes up to like here. Like it goes up to here. I can show you guys if you want while we're yapping. Should I do it? I'm gonna do it. I'm bored. Okay, I'm bored. So here's what I got. I got this from Amazon, actually. It was only like, I think $60, which is cheap compared to the other stuff that I got. So here's the hood part of it. And it comes with this part too, which is like a face mask, so that's pretty good. And you can just clip it. I don't know if I want to do that now though. It might mess up my makeup and smear makeup on the inside of this. I don't know. But anyways, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about at least. So, I know it looks big on me now, but... Anyways, this is the hood, right? But here's the problem with it. You see how this part only goes, like, up to here? The actual Plague Doctor's goes, like, down to his, like past his shoulders. And that's a problem, because obviously this isn't the same. So what I did was, I got this part of the hood, and then I also got, like, a leather, like a short jacket, or, like, they labeled it as, like, a short cape. And it's this leather, like, thing that's, like, the cowl, but, like, without the hood. So it goes down to, like, well, it actually goes down a lot, but it's not, like, too long. It was, like, $300 though? I don't know. Leather things are really fucking expensive, and I learned that the hard way. Thanks for voting the Plague Doctor, by the way, guys. I could have been Starscream or Dio again. Anyways. Yeah, but I got that, and then upstairs I have boots, and I have gloves, and I have gray, like, face... No. Sorry, I accidentally did something. I have, like, gray, like, body paint. And that's all that came in now, so I'm just waiting on, like, I don't know what it's called, like, the robe part, like, the jacket, like, the long part, the cloak, yeah. And I'm waiting on the mask. And then I also want to see, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time for this, but I kind of want to customize the mask to look more canon. I don't know, I might not have time to do that before Halloween, but I'll see. For my Plague Doctor cosplay, I also have additional accessories, like an injection of the Doctor and wear a black cloak. That sounds pretty cool. Oh, that's another thing that I needed to pick up from the mall. Thanks for reminding me. I want to have something that I can carry around my stuff in, and the Plague Doctor does have a bag, canonically, that he pulls out of who knows where, and it's redacted, that's why I say that. And he keeps his medical supplies in there. And there's a bag at the mall that looks like so much like a bag that the Plague Doctor would carry, so I'm buying that. But yeah. Okay. Well, I'm on the wrong thing. I need to pull up the rest of Dio's file. That's really nice. 035. Okay. I'm gonna read this, and I'm just gonna assume lag! Lag! No! Damn it. I think it's because my phone has a little more storage on it than usual. Cause, I was working on a video. You know the video that I've been talking? Very big lag? Are you kidding me? That fucking sucks. Wi-Fi don't die. Is it lagging or is it frozen? Tell me when it stops lagging. Wi-Fi don't leave her. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna eat my Timbits. You guys tell me when it's back. I don't even know. I'm so not happy. It's freezing. It stopped? Like the lag stopped? Okay. We might have to restart the stream. As I was saying, everyone donate my Wi-Fi is fine. I think it's my phone storage. Because I have a little bit more on there. I'm working on a video for 096. And it's a pretty big video for me anyways, for my phone to handle. It's over 20 minutes long. It's probably going to be about 21, 22 minutes by the time the editing is done. So yeah, that could be eating up a lot of storage on my phone, which is causing it to not handle live streaming that well. I don't know how it works, but I don't know. But yeah, if it's too bad, we'll restart. Sorry, I should not have had donuts or Timbits, whatever. So my cosplay parts are in my closet. Worth of cosplay materials I made. And I have you have to dig through all that just to find a specific part or material. That's my normal closet. My normal closet is such a disaster. Like, obviously it's a clothes disaster, not a food disaster, but it's still a fucking mess in there. I don't know. But anyways, thanks, Sandra. Okay, I'm just gonna get into this because I've been yapping for almost half an hour now and we haven't even gotten into this. Okay, again, we only have half of an SCP document to read and one story. It's a fairly long story, but like, I'll try not to yap too much in between. I'll just try to read it as it is because it's freaking awesome. It's my favorite story ever. But anyways, I'm gonna continue this assuming that you guys already know, or were already here for the last live stream where I was talking about Dio, or not the last live stream that I was talking about SCPs. Not playing Containment Breach. So last time we read about 035's like file, like we read like the special containment procedures, like the description and all that, but we didn't get into the addendum because we kind of had too much to get through, so I just decided to move on, and I was like, oh, we can come back to it on another stream, do like a part 2. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna work on Dio fan art. Let me see it when it's done, please. What the fuck is this? Fucking, I don't know. Anyways, let me see it, please, when you're done. But anyways, okay. Yeah, we didn't get through the addendum, which is like additional information. And then, yeah, obviously, like I've said like a million times already, then we're gonna read a story. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna stop yapping. I know how I get. I think we might have... Oh, no, wait, we did read a lot of this, actually. SCP-035 was found in a sealed crypt in an abandoned house in Venice in 18... redacted, we don't know the exact year. I think it was like the later 1800s, though. Because I believe in most canons, the SCP Foundation was made in either the late 1800s or the early 1900s. Violet's been yapping like crazy. I don't know, I've just been bored lately, because I've been broke, like, all week, so I haven't been able to, like, go out and do anything or, like, buy fun stuff. And it's my own fault. I spent like fucking over $1,000 on a Halloween costume. It's totally on me, but I don't know. I've been bored this week. And I don't know. I really wanted to get that video done for this Friday. It's so good, but the editing is taking forever. Like the editing, I accidentally like I'm killing it with the editing this video. But it takes me like an hour to complete like a minute of editing on this new video because it's so good. And I didn't mean to make it that good, it just kind of happened. But now I'm like 5 minutes into the video, so I'm like, I can't just switch up the editing style now. So yeah, I couldn't get the video done for this Friday. I'm actually really sad about that. But whatever, I've been posting shorts lately. Oh, I'm already getting off topic. You're right, focus will do. Yeah, SCP-035, I read this last time, has been found to possess anything that is, or has a humanoid shape. I mentioned that. SCP-035 has facilitated an escape attempt. Oh, okay, I think it's just talking about an incident, because he's Keter, he does that quite often. Convincing several of the research staff to aid in its bid for freedom. I'd be one of them, that's all I'm saying. I wouldn't even need to be brainwashed or anything, I'm up for it. Insurrection failed. All staff that have been in contact with 035 have been terminated. Mandatory psychiatric evaluations have been implemented for all personnel coming into contact with SCP-035. Super sad. It has been determined that... I don't know if I talked about this, actually, last stream, but it has been determined that SCP-035 is capable of telepathy, which basically means he can read people's minds. Pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna mention this in the wiki, so I'll just say it here. I believe they have, or maybe they did mention it in the special containment procedures, I don't remember. But basically, they have lined his cell walls with another SCP. Like, it's a material that basically blocks out any, like, psychological anomalous properties. So essentially when he's in his cell, he can't mind read or like telepathically communicate with people. So yeah, they nerfed him to hell, but anyways. Whether or not it possesses a host, even penetrating to the subconscious of others and using the knowledge it finds to its advantage. I'm just gonna say his, I don't care, I don't work for the Foundation, I don't give a fuck. And using the knowledge he finds to his advantage, extreme caution is advised when choosing subjects to converse with 035. That's kind of sad, because canonically I would probably never be allowed within the same country as 035, but that's not fine. Anyways, Addendum 05. After several more escape attempts, after reviewing SCP-035's incident record, High Command has ordered that it will be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any more hosts. Super sad. Several personnel have protested against this. Because it's cruel, by the way. May I remind you, you guys might think, oh, well, it makes sense, right? Like, Dio's evil and he's dangerous and whatever. Like, if he gets his hands on, like, a body, you know, and he can possess it, well, maybe he could get out. You have to understand the other side. Taking away someone, and he is a someone, he's like a sentient, he's quite literally canonically a person, he's not just a mask. Taking away someone's, like, senses, and, like, their ability to, like, do anything, like, taking away someone's ability to move, to breathe, like, the right to, like, basically do anything. If they don't let him have a host, he's stuck as a mask, like, 24/7. He's literally he's not even able to do anything at all. That's a war crime. That is quite literally a war crime. And it's highly illegal for, like, anyone, like, government or, like, military, like, no matter who you are, that is highly illegal and immoral, because it is called sensory deprivation, and it is a form of torture. So yeah, that's kind of why a lot of people protested against it. No, not nice. Really not nice, but anyways, yeah, I don't know, I'm not even saying that as someone who's, like, I don't know, 035, Dio is my favorite character of, like, all time. I'm not even saying that to, like, suck up to him or, like, baby him or whatever. It's not nice. I don't know what the hell they have the ethics committee for in the Foundation. But anyways, yeah, several personnel have protested against this, with some even erupting into violence. As a direct result, all personnel that have come into contact with 035 has been terminated. So basically, people of the Foundation, like the Foundation members themselves, people that work with the 035, and maybe people that haven't as well, were against the idea of committing war crimes against one of the anomalies, and they were terminated for that. All of them were terminated for that, so that's also really not nice. But anyways, I don't know. This isn't even just, like, I swear this isn't just me, like, I don't know, pandering to, like, Dio or whatever. I'm really not on the same board of the SCP Foundation as an as the fictional organization, like, not as, like, the fictional concept, like the SCP Wiki. I'm talking about, like, the in-universe SCP Foundation as an organization. I don't morally align with them, and neither should you. I don't know. I heavily agree with the objectives and the goals of the Serpent's Hand. I don't know. The Serpent's Hand is way better. The SCP Foundation is actually not the best organization in the SCP Foundation's universe. In fact, I would say they're pretty far from. I would say, like, I don't know. I don't know much about the Black Queen, but, like, from what I do know, I would say, like, the Serpent's Hand is here, the Black Queen is here, then, like, maybe the SCP Foundation comes in third, but then you've got to think, like, that's not really saying much when there's, like, the GOC and, like, the Church of the Broken God. Like, they're not very... I don't know. It's not really saying much to say that you're a better organization than them. But anyways, we're gonna keep... Or like, Chaos, I guess. But anyways, but yeah, going forward, all personnel that deal with SCP-035 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited even to its dormant states, to as little as possible. So yeah, yeah, Dio isn't even really allowed to talk to people, even. He's not... He is quite literally not allowed to do anything. Like, anything. Like, he's not allowed to have a body, which means he's not allowed to breathe. He's not allowed to move. He's not allowed to speak. He's not allowed to do literally anything at all forever. That's what the Foundation wants. And anyone who is against this is immediately fired. And yeah, on top of that, Dio isn't even allowed to socialize. Like, they don't even really let him talk to people. And one of the people, this isn't on here, but one of his interviewers felt a little bit of pity for him and suggested that they let him have a dummy as a host, meaning just like a harmless body that isn't taken from somebody else, and just letting him watch, like, TV. Oh dang, I'm about to get fired then? Good! Good. You are on the right side, Moosey. I'm telling you, good. It's not good that you would get fired canonically. I'm saying morally, you're on the right side of things. Like, I don't know. I'm very proud of anyone who agrees with me on this stance, is what I will say. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, so the interviewer was like, well, why don't we just get you, like, a dummy, right? So you're not killing anyone to take the host, and we'll just let you watch TV. Like, we'll give you some form of entertainment, right? And it's like, I don't know, the higher-ups could even choose what he watches to make sure that he's not getting, like, any harmful information. They immediately shut that shit down, and they scolded the interviewer for even suggesting that, which is incredibly cruel. It is quite literally cruel. It is torture, it is a war crime, it is highly, highly, highly illegal, whether you're... the SCP Foundation, by the way, is not the government. They work with the government, but the SCP Foundation is not the government. The government is still over them. Like, they're funded by the government, and they work for the government. I'm wearing a onesie. Let me stand up and show it again. But they're actually not the government. Here, let me show you guys again. Oh no, I can't show the tail. Hold on. I'm really trying to show off the tail. You see it? Anyways. Don't fall. I'm not gonna fall. Even if I fall, my floor is carpeted. And I'm in a onesie. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. I've never broken a bone in my life. I've never sprained anything, fractured anything, dislocated anything. I'm literally invincible. But anyways, gives out cheesecake. Thank you, I'll take that. I love cheesecake. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, I have never really agreed with the rules of the Foundation, and people who do kind of piss me off. I'm gonna be honest, because they pretend that the shit that they do is, like, a necessary evil, and that you're just, like, you're just, like, too emotionally attached if you vaguely humanize anything that is objectively human. Like, I don't know. I really do not like people who side with the SCP Foundation's protocols and pretend to be intellectually superior to people who are more in touch with emotions, I guess. I don't know, it pisses me off. Especially when the SCP Foundation directly, constantly points out their own immorality. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a reason that the SCP Foundation's wiki has tons of organizations that are against the SCP Foundation. It's not just because they're all evil and they want to, like, destroy the world or whatever. But anyways, I'm not gonna fire myself up right now. But yeah. Anyways, Addendum 6. Personnel within 10 meters of SCP 035 have recently reported feeling... This isn't recent, by the way. It says recently on the files, but this would have been written, like, years ago. But anyways, have recently reported feeling unease, stating that they can hear oh, I'm so bad at reading this word out loud. Unintelligible whispering. Several others have suffered from severe migraines. I don't know, I guess he's just kind of pissed off. Which I would be too, I don't know. Listen, this is not me just defending Dio because I like him. I'll agree that Dio has done a lot wrong and he is not a good person or a good character by any means. He is highly sadistic and cruel. He has seemingly kind of always been on the morally worse side of things. He makes terrible decisions, he does terrible things, extremely cruel, not nice at all, very deceptive, manipulative, torturous, unstable, whatever, right? Dio's this, Dio's that. But one thing I don't blame him for, and I will never blame him for, is killing the staff of the SCP Foundation. Cause those guys literally, I don't want to keep hammering this in, but they are literally keeping him in torture. He describes it as his own personal hell. It is quite literally, they're committing war crimes on him. They're torturing him. They are putting him through horrendous atrocities. And that's not even to mention the experiments that they do, like the testing and stuff. That's one thing that I don't hold against him. I would do the same thing. I hope that you guys would do the same thing. But yeah. Hi, Frumpy. Oh, you're all good, Frumpy. Thanks for coming. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. If you're gonna be told by someone that Dio is not a good person, let it be me and not the SCP Foundation, because my reasoning for it and their reasoning is not the same. But anyways, yeah, object has object. See, that's just not right. It's dehumanizing. Which, like, I don't know, that's like one of the rules of the SCP Foundation as an organization, is that they have to dehumanize anything if they're writing it as an SCP article. Which is not okay. I don't know, like animals, people, if they're anomalous in one way or another, even if they are human, they will be dehumanized by the organization. This is also not good, and actually, I'm gonna say it, it's kind of problematic, but I don't really call that out because the SCP Foundation as a wiki is very self-aware of this, and they, like, call it out, like, a lot. Even Dr. Gears, the author, describes his own character as a soulless monster, so, like, you know, they're aware, they're not doing it to, like, purposefully dehumanize it, to spread the message that not human or different than regular human equals dehumanize them and treat them like an object. That is the goal of the SCP Foundation as a fictional organization. That is not the goal of the SCP Wiki. So yeah, it is problematic, but, like, they're doing it in a self-aware way that's clearly meant to make you think that it's wrong. So that, I don't know, that's the reason that I don't really have a problem with it enough to be like, oh, it's just you know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, there is no change in its dormant behavior, and no sounds have been recorded. The motion to reinstate SCP-035's host privileges has been brought up once more, if only on a temporary basis, to discover these new changes in the object's behavior. This was denied. I don't know, they're so cruel to the point where it's stupid. Like, people are reporting feeling like strange feelings, and they are reporting new anomalous behavior from SCP-035, and they don't even want to, like, interview him about it because they just don't want him to have rights, even for a moment, to figure out what the fuck is going on. So yeah. Violet wanted cheesecake? What flavor is it? I mean, I like all cheesecake, but is it like pumpkin cheesecake, maple cheesecake? I don't know. But anyways. Yeah, anyways. Oh shoot, okay, I've gotta get through this. Addendum 07. The walls of SCP-035's containment have suddenly begun secreting a black substance. Am I dumb? I actually don't remember this. Tests on the substance have revealed it to be human blood, although highly contaminated with... Like, I do remember it, but I don't. Like, I'm reading all of it, and my mind is telling me, oh yeah, you've read this before, but, like, I don't remember. But anyways. Although highly contaminated with several foreign objects and unknown agents, substance is corrosive, having a pH of, 4.5, and prolonged exposure to the walls have been proven to be detrimental to their structural integrity. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this. I completely forgot about this. What the hell? You'd expect me never to forget anything about Dio, but there's a lot about Dio, so give me a break. Anytime that they press this SCP, it usually backfires on them horribly. I don't know if they're gonna mention this here, but I do know that for a certain amount of time, they actually kept him in, like, a completely, like, metal box or something like that. Like, they kept him in, like, the glass case, and they put, like, metal over it, and it was supposed to be, like, impenetrable. Like, nobody could open it, or, like, he couldn't get out. And then, eventually, the box fucking, like, exploded one day. And I think it caused harm to the staff? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, as I said, he is Keter, so, like, he does get out of his predicament a lot. Or at least he makes it very hard to keep him in said predicament. But I don't know, it's still, to me, it's still really not okay that they're doing that in the first place, you know? Especially because Dio is not actually even from Earth. I think in the same way that they don't, like, kidnap people from Alagata and take them to Earth to study them and put them in a site and contain them, I've never agreed with the fact that they did that to Dio, because Dio is from Alagata. That's, like, his home. I don't know. It's like you're taking, like, natives from, like, another dimension. And I know that, like, Dio left and, like, that it wasn't really the same. Like, Dio left Alagata, he fled, and then he spent a few years on Earth before getting found by the SCP Foundation, but, like, still, it's kind of the same thing if you ask me. Thank God we don't have too much drama in these chats. It's mostly just people beating everyone else up or eating foods, like children. Well, like, we're eating children? I don't do that. But anyways, yeah, I agree. I'm lucky, I have a really good community. But anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, I've never really agreed with the fact that, I don't know, because Dio's goal is to go back to Alagata, and honestly, Alagata can't really get much worse than it is, and I would say, and I feel pretty fucking fair in saying this, and I think that anyone who knows anything about, like, Alagata would agree, that the current Lord of Alagata, like, the guy on top is called the Ambassador. Dio looks like a saint compared to the Ambassador. And Dio's, like, #1 goal is to take over Alagata. He wants to be the new ruler, which means he would overthrow or, like, kill the Ambassador in some way. Meaning it would actually be beneficial for the SCP Foundation and Alagata to just let him go. It might even make Alagata easier to study, because obviously, I don't know. Sometimes when personnel are sent to Alagata to explore and research, it really doesn't go too well, and it's kinda because of the Ambassador. I don't know, though. I actually, never mind. I was gonna say, I could see it being easier for them to study the universe, because Dio is, like, nowhere near as cruel as the Ambassador, but at the same time, now that I'm really thinking about it, Dio is incredibly spiteful. Like, incredibly spiteful. I don't think he would allow, like, any member of the Foundation into Alagata if he, I don't know. He'd probably make it a lot harder. But still, it's not, like, their world to study, you know what I mean? Like, Alagata doesn't really cause a threat to Earth. Like, it's not really, like, it's not their world, you know? Anyways. Who's talking about brain rot in the chat? Don't do that, it's annoying. Anyways. Let's keep reading. More notably, it seems to be forming patterns on the walls. Okay, this part I remember. Several segments seem to be paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. Forgot about that. Sanskrit. I only really remember the Italian and Greek. But yeah, Dio knows a lot of different languages. Pretty cool. But yeah. Hold on, wait, what? Jumps onto the desk by hearing that Dio is not the deadly one. The most deadly one ever? Not by far. Like, okay, it really depends. It really, really depends. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, Yo, I don't know, it's really complex, and it's really hard to say one thing or the other, but generally, if you're not, like, morally aligned with the SCP Foundation and what they aim to do, SCP-035 is a lot less dangerous than people will have you believe. Like, a lot less dangerous. I don't know. I don't know, he's not, he's pretty violent, but, like, it's always with reason. Always with reason. I'm not saying that the reason is justified always. I'm really not saying that. Sometimes he's done horrendous things and it's not justified at all. But it is always for a reason. It's like, generally, as long as you don't give him a reason, he's fine. That's not to say he can be, like, trusted. Or that you shouldn't be careful still, but I don't know. I don't know, he won't just, like, kill you for being within his general vicinity. Like, I don't know, let me think for a second. I don't know, he's probably one of the safest SCPs to interact with out of all of the ones in, like, Containment Breach, just for example. Like, the only ones that I would put above him is, like, the computer, because it's a fucking computer. And that red yarn ball. And, like, SCP items, which I don't really count. I don't know. What is going on in the chat? Anyways. I don't know. The Foundation talk about him like he's literally the devil, but that's because they treat him way worse. But that being said, he still is pretty diabolical. He's just not that bad. But anyways. Translation is pending. Must have been pending for a while. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefits of the person committing them. Several staff members have been shocked to note that all of the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones, often in conflicting positions. Pretty freaking cool. I don't really have any notes on that, because I don't really remember all of this too well. Researchers, while in the room examining these newly formed patterns, have complained of hearing loud whispering and high-pitched, unnerving laughter at irregular intervals. Personnel in the section working daily near and around SCP-035's containment unit have suffered catastrophic morale damage. Yeah. We mentioned this last stream. Working, yeah, with an all-time high in... Am I allowed to say that word on YouTube? A lot of the staff working to keep SCP-035 in his situation, have very high, like, rates, I guess. I don't know. They kind of game over themselves often. But anyways, whether or not they have ever had contact with SCP-035. But yeah, I don't know. As I said, he still does have that lining. I forgot what the other SCP is. He still does have that lining in his cell where, like, it prevents, like, a lot of, like, his, like, psychological effects. But it doesn't really work. Like, it does, like, it works. It really does work. That's why they have it. But, like, it's not, like, 100%, you know? But anyways, let's keep reading. The only change in SCP-035's dormant behavior is regarding its contained glass case. Degradation of the case has increased to a degree, enough so that the glass will occasionally shatter, causing a wide dispersal of SCP-035's containment. That's not what I was mentioning before, by the way. I don't know if this is going to mention it in the document, but I don't know where I heard it. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that they tried to keep him contained by, like, keeping him in, like, the glass containment, and then keeping him with, like in metal, and, like completely, like, reinforced. I don't know. They tried keeping him in, like, this indestructible box, and it just fucking exploded after a while, so, haha. But anyways, this occurs quite often at the most inopportune times, kind of forgot what that word means, so far resulting in 6 casualties and 3 fatalities of both research and cleanup staff. Scoreboard. But anyways, Addendum 08. In light of the mass self-game overings and homicide, I would say the word, don't get me wrong, it's just, I don't know if YouTube is gonna punish me for saying the word. I'm not trying to be, like, overly censoring or whatever. Like, I don't know, a lot of people complain when content creators censor certain words, and they're like, are you serious? Like, we're censoring this word now? Don't be mad at us, we're just trying to do our thing without getting punished. I would totally say the word, it's YouTube that you should be mad about. But anyways, yeah. Due to that word and / homicide of members of the research team tasked with translating the passages garnered from SCP-035's containment cell, the morale damage in the area, the general law... Oh, never mind. Sorry, I got distracted by the music change. I was like, what the fuck is this? I love this song, by the way. But anyways, morale damage, general loss of staff dealing with SCP-035 to either death or insanity. It has been decided to coat the inner and outer walls of its Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. The inner and outer walls of its containment cell with SCP-148. That's the SCP. That, like, blocks out, like, psychological abilities and things like that. But anyways, which has proved well in the containment of SCP-132. Kind of forgot which one that is. But anyways, in order to hopefully block out the high levels of negativity being emitted by SCP-035. You know what? I'm gonna say something that I find kind of interesting. I'm not gonna get sidetracked too much. I will agree with you that SCP-035 can sometimes act a lot more upbeat than the other SCPs. He's a lot more social and charming and outgoing. But, I don't know. At the same time, I feel like he kind of gets mischaracterized into being like a ray of sunshine sometimes. Like, specifically when compared to, like, like, the Plague Doctor, like, even if they're not shipping them, which, like, ew, gross, don't do that, I don't know, Dio is usually the, like, happy, sunny-shine one, while the Plague Doctor is, like, the, like, miserable, like, grumpy man. And I don't know. Like, this is my first time ever talking about it. I just realized this, like, a little bit ago. But, like, a lot of the times... Hold on. My music turned off. A lot of the times, I don't want to say it's the complete opposite, but, like... I don't know, it's kind of the opposite sometimes. Not that, like, the Plague Doctor is, like, super, like, bubbly or whatever. Or, like, he's, like, the happiest guy in the world. But, like... Dio is, like, the super spiteful one. Like, cruel, negative, like, not really much faith in people. Like, kind of hates a lot of people. To the point where he'll do terrible things to them. He's, like, very spiteful and... I don't know what's the word. Isn't it called, like, nihilism or whatever? I don't know. He's very, like, not optimistic, if that makes sense. I don't know. And then you have the Plague Doctor who, like, yeah, he's kind of a stick in the mud. Oh my god, uh-oh. Mollusco, don't do that, please. Hawk doesn't like that. No, don't type that face. Don't do it. Naughty. Anyways, I don't know, like, the Plague Doctor isn't the most, like, smiley or bubbly, like, you're not gonna catch him, like, skipping in a flower field or anything, but, like, I would say that he generally has, like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, really, but, like, the Plague Doctor has, like a very, like, good heart compared to Dio. Like, he just genuinely really wants to, like, help people and, like, fulfill his purpose. And I don't know, like, he like, really cares about people. I don't know, like, he's just, like a good guy. And Dio is just fucking miserable and spiteful and, like, constantly attacking people or, like, plotting to horrendously torture them or make them off themselves. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, like, so, like, not to say that it's, like, the opposite way, but it's kind of the opposite way that they're normally depicted, if that makes sense. I don't know. But anyways, I'm not gonna rant about that too much, because we still have stuff to get through. Anyways. The blood of both... Wait, did I? No. I'm skipping over things. I don't know what gender I'm attracted to. I take both, kind of, but I don't really date. You're so me for that. I'm, like, pansexual, but at the same time, part of me kind of wants to be single forever, unless it's Dio. But Dio isn't real. So, oh well. Like, I would say oh well, but it's not even really a loss for me. Like, I genuinely don't give a fuck. Anyways, moving on. Okay, yeah, the use of the lining, the use of SCP-148, has worked well, causing morale and, self-deletion rates to return to near pre-035 rates. So yeah, it's working, but it's not working 100%, like I said. However, the material appears to facilitate the negativity within the cell, causing a veritable greenhouse effect inside. Here's another thing I kind of forgot about. Personnel inside the cell have stated that they feel a heavy sense of dread, fear, anger, general depression, as well as hearing constant, nearly inaudible whispering upon immediate entry. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean when I say that, like, Dio isn't really as, like, silly and, like, happy-go-lucky as people depict him as. He's... I don't know. Anyways. A prolonged stay causes severe migraines, self-deletion tendencies, heavy hemorrhaging of blood vessels. I don't remember this. Around the, inside the mouth, nose, general hostility to others. Oh, okay. And for the whispering to increase to almost deafening volumes, intersected by constant mocking laughter. It's so weird, because, like, some of this I remember, like, pretty well, and then some of it I don't. And, like, they'll be in, like, the same sentence. I don't know. Anyways, exposure to more than 3 hours, inevitably results in subject falling into deep psychosis and attempting to harm either themselves or others. Most speak in Latin or Greek, despite the fact that several did not previously know how to speak said languages beforehand. That I remember. The presence of blood in both word and diagram formations has increased disproportionately. The walls becoming cluttered and the formations beginning to overlap each other. Basically, Dio's losing it. The substance is proven to be both difficult to clean and more erosive than was previously recorded. Oh! That's how it became such a mess in Containment Breach. Do you remember me getting confused the other day when I was playing Containment Breach and I was like, how did your cell... Imolosco, you're so right for that. I don't know how I'm not bi. Maybe I am, but I'll never figure it out, really. At least, I don't know. What was I gonna say? Where was I? Oh yeah, I was like, how did your cell get this bad? Like, canonically, you would have only been in here for like a few hours. It's because the walls of his cell bleed. I forgot about that. I don't know. There's a lot here, okay? And, I did read the files, like, a couple years ago. I don't know. Hi, Scarlett. Scarletto? Makes animations? Hi, how are you? Anyways, let's continue reading, because I cannot get sidetracked. I still have to read my favorite story ever. Substance is proven to be difficult to clean and even more corrosive than was originally recorded, with a pH roughly 2.4. I don't know what that means, I'm gonna be honest. Boys are not hot. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know. Not gonna get sidetracked. Guys are not that hot. I'm gonna say it. I still think I'm pansexual. I just think that guys really don't try as hard as girls do. Like, girls are pretty because they do themselves up well and they care about their presentation more, whereas guys just kind of wake up, scratch their ass, put a shirt on, and go outside. You know what I mean? They're like, what's moisturizer? You guys are buying both conditioner and soap? Such a waste of money. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm bi or not. I think that the only reason why I find women more attractive is just because they try more. And they have nicer in general, they're nicer and they're more understanding than men are. So it's not really that I have, a physical, preference or whatever. I think it's more of, a societal thing. Why is this turning into queerness? I'm getting distracted again. Anyways, it is gradually become- oh, wait. General estimation gives the current walls a life of 2 months before they will need replacements. Holy shit. It is becoming generally more and more difficult to contain SCP-035, and the debate to reinstate its host privileges has once again come up. Denied. People are dying and themselves and are suffering because of what they're doing to Dio, which is, again, illegal war crime and torture, and they still body. And for what? What is he gonna do? Like, he escapes containment. And he goes to Alagata. That's all he wants to do. All he wants to do is just go to Alagata. Like, so what? Like, you're just keeping him in a box all the time to just rot and be tortured for the rest of eternity. And it's so funny because if you literally just let him go, he'll go back to his own world and probably make it even better. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you're keeping a native of, like, another dimension hostage, basically. Like, you're keeping a native of, like, a land that is not yours. I'm not trying to make this, like, political or, like, relate this to real life stuff. I'm just saying it how it is. You're taking someone who is from a world that is not yours, and you're keeping them as prisoner where all they're doing is just killing your own people because of what you're doing to him. Whereas if you just let him go, he'll just go back home. And it's none of your concern what he does back home because that's not your world. And if anything, if he does end up overthrowing the ambassador, he's gonna make it better. Listen, I'm not saying Dio would be, like, a great ruler. I'm not saying that he's, like, the most moral person, but we're talking about Alagata. We're talking about Alagata. What do you want? Is this Wind Waker? Oh, it is. I've never played Wind Waker. Let's listen to Gerudo Valley. Anyways, it makes me lose my mind. But anyways, we're almost at the end of this. The walls, ceiling, and floor of SCP-035's containment cell have now been completely saturated in blood. When are we gonna get to, like, the tentacle stuff? I'm just skimming through this. Oh, appendage. Okay, yeah, they do mention that in the next addendum. Okay. Anyways, all personnel entering and guarding the area must wear a full hazmat protection suit, whatever. Constant cleaning efforts are instated. He's literally, like, rotting the fucking walls of the building. Like, he's rotting the fucking walls. He's covering everything in blood. He's killing your people. And I don't even blame him for doing that. But anyways. The magnitude, intensity, and recurrence of the phenomena that occur within SCP-035's containment cell have increased to an alarming degree. The cell door has been known to become locked of its own accord while personnel are inside, and unable to be opened for a period of time. Appendages form out of the larger puddles of blood, and often attempt to grab or harm personnel near them. I've never really understood where that comes from. Maybe there's a story in Alagata that I haven't read yet, because I know there's a few of them. But, yeah, basically, SCP-035, if he's able to cause enough corrosion to a surface, these, like, tentacle-like limbs can grow out of it and, like, hurt people. Never really understood where that comes from, but it's super cool. But anyways. Where was I? Appendages form out of the larger puddles of blood, blah-de-blah. Electronic devices no longer work inside the cell, and the light cannot be turned on, though there is no physical reason why it does not work, forcing those entering to use non-electrical based light sources, so they gotta come in there with a fucking candle or something. Anyways. Cleaning measures have no discernible effect on the cell, and the walls are degrading at a very high rate, forcing them to be replaced within a week at best, although the blood makes it nearly impossible to achieve this. SCP-035 may have to be moved to a different or to a new cell entirely, with the old one sealed off and disengaged from the rest of the facility. That's the dumbest solution literally ever. Cause he's literally just gonna do the exact same thing to another cell, and then you've got your problem doubled. And then what are you gonna do then? Triple it? Do it again? Let him go! Man, free my man! He ain't do nothing! I don't know. Listen, I'm not all there with Dio on the moral side of things, okay? I disagree with a lot of I think some of the things that he's done is absolutely horrendous and sickening. But even if I hated Dio, I think it would only be logical to conclude that they just let him go. Like, I don't know, they're all about being, like, objective and logical and unfeeling, but, like, objectively, the best thing to do for them is to just let him go. Let him go back to Aligata. He doesn't want to fuck with Earth anyway. Speaking of Aligata, we're done reading the rest of Dio's wiki. We're done all of the addendum logs. Now it's time to read And So the Crows Laughed, which is my favorite story. It's my favorite tale from the SCP Wiki ever. It is so... I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, it's brutal. Okay, I love it for the same reason that, like, I love, like, the stories and the lore of, like, the Dark Souls franchise. It's so, like, dark and uncomfortable and, like, gory and gross and, like, I don't know. But it's in a very beautiful and unique way. I don't know. I really like tragic things when they're pretty, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, really. I just really like that type of writing. That's how I write for my own, like, personal stories. But anyways. Okay. Oh. Hold on. Oh, it's on loop. I don't want to listen to this, though. It's way too upbeat. What should we listen to? We need to listen to something that won't get me copyrighted, but also something that kind of fits the vibe. I don't want to listen to something, like, super dark, but... I don't know. Moosey, have you read it before? Moosey, you're so freaking awesome. Moosey, you're so cool. Anyone who's already read And So the Crows Laughed before I even read it to you guys are cool. You guys are cool. I like you guys. But anyways. Ooh, hold on. I have an idea. Twilight Princess. Twilight Realm theme? Oh my god. No, that's not it. Yeah, this is it, but I need an extended version of this. Oh, a 2-hour version, that'll do. I love this song so much. This comes from Twilight Princess, which is a older 3D Zelda game. One of my favorite games of all time. And this song specifically is like really nostalgic for me because it takes place in like a really unique setting in the game, and it's really pretty to me, and I really like the music that would play here. So when I was playing this game as a kid, I would literally just like come into this level for like no reason whatsoever and just like stare up at the sky of it, and I would just do that for like an hour or two straight. I mean, sometimes, like, I would be doing things at the same time. Like, I'd just kind of leave my TV running, and I would, like, draw or something. But, yeah. Moosey, you love Twilight Moosey, you have really good taste. Let me tell you, you have really good taste. You like all the cool things. But anyways. Let's turn this up a little. It's kind of quiet. But yeah, I love this thing. I think this is pretty fitting for Aligata. The Twilight Realm, one of my first impressions of Aligata, because I was a Zelda fan before I was an SCP fan. I still like Zelda. I'm not really a big fan of like newer Zeldas. I'm talking specifically like Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. But I was a fan of that before I even knew what the SCP Foundation was. And the first time that I found out about Aligata, it reminded me of the SCP it reminded me of the Twilight Realm. Like, just the aesthetic of it, like the yellow sky with like the I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot, but like the whole aesthetic of it was just like really similar. But anyways. Wait, what were you gonna say? I believe Via was Pan. Yeah. Hold on, what were you gonna say? So, I've got most of y'all's gender attractions, so tell me if you want your Sonas to be in the Pride poster. Oh, that's so cute! Come to think of it, I can't tell if I just, like, I don't know. I might be, like, gray, asexual, and aromantic too? I don't know, actually. I don't know, I just don't care about that kind of thing, but like I don't really care about like close connections in general. Like having like best friends or like close friends or like romantic partners. I don't know, that's all not for me, unless we're talking about like pets. Like, I love being close with animals. Like, I love my dog. I love my centipede. I love my cat. I love all my dogs. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not even that people suck. Like, I like people, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways. Guys, it's time to read my favorite story ever. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I have to give a warning for this or not. I mean, I'm a horror channel, and the stuff mentioned is, like, pretty descriptive and gory, but, like, it's not, like, bad. It's not like I'm showing you guys anything. And also, like, there's no, like, heavy themes, if that makes sense. Like, it's dark, it's uncomfortable, it's gory, it's messy, it's gross sometimes, but it's not too heavy. It doesn't really, it's not one of those things that rely on, like, super heavy subjects to be extremely dark, which is, like, my favorite kind of writing. But anyways, let's read. Oh, actually, I do need to give some context for this. Because I don't think I remembered this story correctly. Last time I was talking about it. So, I actually read 2 stories, and I mistook the 2 stories as both being from And So the Crows Laughed. But there's a story that takes place before And So the Crows Laughed, I forgot what it was called exactly, but I do have to tell you guys what I remember about it, because it's important context for this story. Keep in mind, I might get some details mixed up, because, again, like, I read this stuff a while ago. But anyways, I have the memory of a goldfish, but I tend to remember things that I like more. So let's test myself for a second. So, basically, from my memory, there was once a king, and this king was not a great king at all. Very cruel, selfish man. And this man had a jester, a royal jester, that was very loyal to him, and this jester was, or becomes, the Black Lord, who becomes Dio Polonoi, aka SCP-035. So whenever I mention the jester in this story, it talks about, that is SCP-035. It's just, it takes place like centuries ago. And it's not written by the same author, but it is the same character. The SCP Foundation is kind of weird like that, but it's cool. But anyways, so basically there was this king of a city centuries ago, some kind of European city. I believe that it's Italian, but it may actually be English. I'm not too sure anymore. I really don't know any. I'll have to check later. Oh, thank you. Very nice. Also, hi Epsilon. How are you doing? How's the job, Epsilon? While I'm ranting, how's the job? Sorry, I'm trying not to get too sidetracked. I have like, I don't know, like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes if I'm pushing it max to read the story. So, I gotta keep things rolling. But Epsilon, it's really good to see you. I hope the job's going well. As I was saying, yeah, so there was a king of some city in Europe, I believe either England or Italy. I'm pretty sure it was Italy. But anyways. Yeah, this king, not a very good king. And he wanted to become immortal. I really don't remember this well. I don't even remember what the title is called. Fudge. I remember reading the entire thing on the wiki, and it was like when I was still new to reading about Allegata, so I'm bound to get things mixed up, but okay, here's what I kind of remember. The king... Oh, my head, my memory is so bad. The king tried to make a deal with these three godlike entities called the Brothers of Death, who are very interesting in their own right. I would highly recommend looking into them on your own time, because you'll probably learn some things that will surprise you. But anyways, putting them aside, so the king tried to make some kind of deal with the Brothers of Death, because, yes, I'm reading The Hanged King's Tragedy, is that it? Yeah, I am talking about the Hanged King, though. He becomes the Hanged King, but he's not the Hanged King at the point that I'm talking about right now. Right now, he's just a king. So he wants to become immortal, so he gambles with these Brothers of Death. And essentially, if he wins against them, if he wins the gamble, then they will grant him immortality. But if he loses, basically, the Brothers of Death will wreak, carnage upon the city. They will kill, a major population of the city's people and the livestock. Yeah, I think that was it. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember. And the king lost the gamble, so the brothers of death, as I said, they killed, like, a major portion of this city, of this kingdom, of the kings, and killed a lot of people, and killed a lot of livestock, so, like, the remaining people would have been a little, like, famined, I guess, so they just left the kingdom in, like, a really shitty state, and caused carnage and, like, tragedy for the people, right? And the people were absolutely infuriated with this king because he literally gambled their lives and their animals just for his own selfish purposes, and he lost, and it led to a lot of destruction and death and loss and grief and whatever. They were absolutely fucking fed up with this king because he wasn't even a good king to begin with. Like, he treated them very poorly even before that. So that is how we get to this story, and so the crows laughed. I hope I explained that well enough and accurately enough, because we're gonna get into the story now. I'm gonna try not to yap too much. You know me, I get sidetracked, I go on my little tangents, but I'm gonna really try not to get sidetracked too much, because number one, I love this story, and number two, well, I don't have much time today to say it, but anyways, let's begin. Okay, and so the crows laughed. The grand palace of the king trembled as flames licked its surface of gold and silver. Oh yeah, this city is Aligata, by the way, but it's not the Aligata that we know it as now. This is Aligata before it became, like, an anomalous dimension. This is Aligata when it was just, like, a regular old European city, or kingdom. So that's why there's, like, gold and silver. Actually, I think there would be gold and silver in Aligata anyway. Because gold would fall under yellow, and silver would fall under, like, white. So, never mind, actually, I was gonna say that's why there's different colors other than the four. But I think metallics would count under those four too. But anyways, the kingdom's long-suppressed subjects had reached the king's dungeon, where he tried to hide as his guards stood defenseless against the mobs. So, again, we're starting off at the point where the citizens of Aligata are absolutely sick of this king, and this king has just killed most of their people and their livestock, so they're finally rebelling against this king. But yeah, anyways. They dragged him, the once king, now deprived of his throne, now deprived of his crown and throne, through the carefully polished marble floor, putting rusted chains around his hands and ankles. The very chains that the king had used to imprison his opponents. Yeah, again, not a good guy. They make it very obvious in this story. They rid him of his long, gorgeous robe, using mere rags to cover his now scarred body. The old king murmured, but his mouth was soon slammed shut by the angry crowd. I know I said this, but again, just want to tell you guys, this story is extremely violent. There's even a part that makes me really sad, because Dio gets it too, but, you know, I've read this before. It's, you know, water under the bridge or whatever. But anyways, the riot went on, with exploited farmers and workers, and even the once loyal and lawful citizens, rushing into the palace to grab their share of the treasure. The followers and servants of the king were all butchered with knives and swords, or even heavy sticks and stones. Even the jester of the court was not spared. Again, this is about Dio. He was caught crying as the people put his head against the beautifully decorated palace wall. His mask lay broken on the ground. This was, like, before he was a mask, because he was human before. Yeah, Dio, my child. His mask lay broken on the ground, and his blood soon stained the royal carpets as the fire grew silently, taking the palace slowly apart. Yeah, it still makes me pretty sad, but I'm not gonna harp on it too. I don't like being sad in front of people, let alone the entire internet, so we're gonna move on. But yeah, that still really hurts to read, even to this day, but, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, but the wiser men of the city did not join this parade of madness. Unlike the uneducated crowd, they knew very well what the things in the king's dungeon meant. Not just corruption and indulgence of pleasure, but something darker. Whispers and prayers to things that should not be answered. The tomes, and symbols reminded them too much of the ancient gods down in the abyss, brothers of death. The dark red liquid in the silver cup, unsettlingly resembling blood. That'll come in later. A lion, which was once the king's pet, now reduced to a mere skeleton, had carvings on it that they wish they could not unsee. And they knew that the soldiers fell before angry people, not because their weapons were not sharp, or their armor were poorly made, but because their bodies were so weak that they weren't even able to put up a fight. The soldiers were hardly the young men in good health they were when they were recruited, as they appeared lost and confused with a broken soul, as if something had sucked their life dry over the years. So they fled, scholars grabbing their strolls, painters taking their paintings and tools, leaving this cursed city without looking back. Cheering in the city, however, did not cease. The people celebrated their victory, throwing filthy things towards the king, picking up stones to break his fragile bones once more. Even the smallest children had come up and kicked the old man, leaving him crawling in the mud. They hardly understood what this all meant, but they too laughed with the crowd. The crows gathered on the branches nearby, and they made noises harsh and shrill, as if mocking the men below. Tortured people had taken their revenge, but even those who had been the king's accomplice had joined their rank. The criminals who had murdered tens of people stood alongside those who were too afraid to even speak ill of the court, and they all cheered and cheered. The thieves walked proudly in broad daylight, for on this one day, the only thief was the king, who stole the kingdom from its people, and everything else done was to serve justice. Innocents had died, and the ones with blood on their hands were praised heroes, but the crowd did not care. They were vultures, feasting upon the body of a giant, or the dead body of a giant, who had been weak and sinful, now a liar for things so much more filthy than he was. And the climax of the feast came when the king was taken through the long streets and out to a small hill where an old tree stood. They were going to use the gallows to hang him, but someone suggested that the king did not deserve a formal execution, but should die nameless and forgotten. Harsh. But not really undeserved, but anyways. Oh, I lost my place. Oh, I found it. So they took him there, a deserted place where the tree happened to be big and tall enough for him to be hanged. The king, who had crawled on his broken knees all the way there, hardly resembled a king anymore. Covered in dirt and rags, he was more along the lines of beggars than anything of royalty. But even as people spat at him and cursed him, nobody dared to look him in the eyes. Even with his jaw broken, he murmured unholy words that no one wished to hear. So the crowd shouted and yelled as loud as they could, trying to hide the unsettling feelings stirring in their hearts and minds. Aw, thank you, Meow and Paw YouTube, thank you. I should get there tomorrow, or maybe Sunday, if I'm unlucky. But anyways, we're celebrating today. The execution was done easily and swiftly, as it merely took a long rope around the king's neck with its end tied to a large tree branch. The king was hanged, heavy chains still on his body, for the people felt unsafe to take them off. He had struggled like every hanged man in human history, but the words slipped through his lips were unlike anything others had spoken. He did not ask for forgiveness, nor did he curse his rebellious subjects, for he knew that they had already been cursed. He spoke inhuman words that came from places of dark, and then laughed and laughed until his final breath. Then there was silence, as his hands and feet finally stopped moving. There was no longer cheering, as everyone tried to get out of the place not as fast. Sorry, I have a bad habit of reading things just absolutely wrong. But anyways, there was no longer cheering, as everyone tried to get out of the place as soon as they could. Nobody wanted to look at the hanged king for a second more, as his eyes, now lifeless and wide, still seemed to be staring at them. The courage they built up when taking the palace was gone. The pride and triumph they felt now reduced to void and fear. The king was hanged, but it was as if his laughter was still echoing on this small hill. They never intended to bury him as they eventually did, but they wanted him to be exposed in the wild for crows and maggots to grow, and his body to decay, so that the king would die humiliated. The crows did come, circling around him, but never landed. They just laughed and laughed with their ugly voices, as if mocking the crowd once more. And the lifeless look of the king was so resentful and disgusting that everyone wanted to cover this foul creature with earth, as if mere soil would help them escape his hateful gaze. They did not make him a tomb. However, and they buried the king only shallowly, as nobody was willing to stay long enough to dig a hole deep enough. Then, don't mind the dog onesie. Then the crowd left. They went back to the city and indulged themselves in their newly gained treasure, trying to forget what they had witnessed. On the first day, nothing had really happened, except that a homeless man reported that he heard strange noises coming from the hill where the king was hanged and buried. He also said that the crows had gathered, their eyes fixed on the king's grave, as if waiting for something to happen. But this was dismissed as a madman's words. On the second day, however, many residents of the city found themselves badly ill. They coughed, bled, and trembled lying on the floor as if they were bound by heavy, rusted chains. The river that flowed across the city turned red, the smell of human blood. Okay, I know I wasn't meant to yap too much, but that's still there to this day in Aligata, the red river of blood. I believe it goes, exactly across, the half of Aligata, in the center. I don't know. Anyways, those who enjoyed their new power and wealth found themselves helpless after merely one day, clutching at the gold they took from the palace and died beside it. On the third day, those who were still alive were able to move again. But they stood up only to put a knife against their throats, or to scream while ripping their faces off. Their blood streamed out of their houses, staining the river with red even more. All animals had fled the city, except for the crows, which were now almost everywhere. They stood watching silently as the city spiraled down into madness. At the same time, the soil on top of the king's burial rustled. The crows laughed with their harsh tone as the hanged king climbed out of his grave, with chains around his hands and ankles and the rope around his neck. Yeah, Aligata is a place of madness. Like, everyone there is fucking batshit crazy all the time. I love it. But anyways, he was hanged as a king of men, but he came out of that place something else. His body lifeless, but he was not dead, as he refused to walk that path. Was he too spiteful to die? Like, literally? Anyways. And used souls he had and didn't have to make the bargain. The chains hit the ground, clashing against each other as the hanged king made his way back to the city. How do you spell Aligata? Okay, there's a lot of letters. That's A-L-A-G-A-D-D-A. Yeah, if I said that right. Hawk spelled it right. Thank you. Thank you, Hawk. Anyways. The very city now flooded with blood and watched by dark crows, where people kept screaming until they could scream no more. He moved past the streets where he was dragged along just a few days back, stepping on the blood of his former subjects. He walked slowly towards the ruins of the once magnificent place he had built all those years ago. The treasures had been taken, and all that was left were dead bodies and broken weapons. The king moved past a broken mask, which was once worn by his favorite jester, but he paid no attention. He doesn't give a fuck about Dio, but Dio really likes the Hanged King, by the way. I don't know, the Hanged King, okay, so Aligata goes on, I don't think this story mentions it, but Aligata goes on to have 4 lords. So there's kind of like a monarchy almost, like a hierarchy that goes the lords, the king, or I don't know. The ambassador is not supposed to be at the top, but he is anyway, because he's evil and stuff, and he kind of just does things for the king without the king's will, I guess. But yeah, there's 4 lords of Aligata. One of them, or there was 4 lords of Aligata. One of them was Dio, the jester, the Black Lord, and the Black Lord was the Hanged King's favorite, and this made the other lords very, very jealous. And eventually the Black Lord found out that the ambassador was taking advantage of the Hanged King and wanted to do something about it, but the other 3 lords politically backstabbed him and almost led to his public execution, but he fled Aligata in time, and that's how he ended up on Earth, and that's how he ended up getting contained by the SCP Foundation eventually, because he got basically exiled from Aligata. They were gonna kill him, but they weren't able to. He escaped. He's too smart. But anyways, let's keep reading. Where am I? Oh yeah. Oh, it's so sad though. Obviously, by the way, the jester didn't really die. Like, he died, but like not really. That's kind of the way it goes with Dio. Anyways. He walked towards the dungeon where a throne covered by sharp, rusted spikes was placed. The ones who had taken the palace thought it was meant for torturing, and did not bother to move it. The king, leaving a blood trail behind, stepped upon the throne and placed his body through the cold metal spikes. As the spikes went through his dead body, the king trembled. He would have screamed if the rope had not rendered him breathless. For the pain was in his soul rather than his body. So, here's another thing. The Hanged King was cursed. This comes from the other story too, so take this with a grain of salt. The Hanged King was also cursed to, I believe, come back to life after about 3 days, but he would be forever trapped in this state between life and death. He's both alive and dead at the same time. So he's kind of constantly in this agonizing state of being. But yeah. And there was a way to fit. So this is important for what comes next in the story. I still have to fill you in with this. There was a way for the Hanged King to truly be immortal still, even after this, without living in the state between life and death. He could actually just be alive forever. And the brothers of death said, if you get a drop of everyone's blood in Alagata and put it into a single cup and you drink out of said cup, then you can be immortal forever, without the pain and being stuck between life and death. It would, fix his condition, essentially, but we get to that in a little bit, so let's just keep reading. Anyways, he was there to suffer forever, but it had been done, and it was then his one and only rightful throne. For a moment there was silence. But then the ruins of the palace began to shake, and the city started to tremble. The flames rose once more, but more of a phantom of the past, and the blood in the river started to boil. The skeleton of the lion stood up and roared. Oh, sorry about that, Epsilon. Yeah, take care. You have a good day, alright? See ya tomorrow then, or on the Discord. See ya. But have a good one. Sorry about your data. Or data, I don't care. I say it either or. Anyways. The king's dungeon, where the throne was placed. The center of all these now became a hole that warped the whole kingdom inside. It turned everything inside out, making them twisted and inhuman. The space bent, time disorientated, and the city was in another place, not quite there, but still where they all were. The whole city was transformed and remade. The crows had taken off, and they circled the city, searching for those who were not yet dead, pecking them with their beaks until they bled out in horrifying forms. The Hanged King, who was now seated in the court of his new city, built upon the ruins of the old one, shall sit there forever and ever. The dead jester came up. So, as I said, he died, but he didn't really die. Everyone kind of came back. But anyways, once again wore his broken mask, and offered the king a silver cup filled with blood. This is partially the reason why I say Dio's not all that bad. I know it was a different author, but still, if you know anything about Transformers, Dio was essentially what Soundwave is to Megatron. Extremely loyal and caring. Even if the Hanged King didn't really reciprocate that. I mean, the Hanged King, the Black Lord was the Hanged King's favorite, but I don't really know. Again, I haven't really read all the stories of Alagata, And there's much that I don't remember from the ones that I have read. Which is why, you know, I propose we should read a lot of these stories on stream. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Doesn't really seem like the Hand King really reciprocates a lot of that, like, care and loyalty. I don't know. Alagata is not a real place. No. Not at all. No, it is completely fictional. No. No. I'll just put it at that, because I don't want to be mean. But absolutely not. It's not real at all. It's all fiction. But anyways. Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be terrible if all of those things happened, but I mean, Dio would exist. I think it's a worthy trade-off, personally. I'd want it to exist, but that would be kind of selfish of me. Anyways. Yeah, but Dio is so loyal that as soon as he came back to life, he got the cup of everybody's blood and Alec. I don't know how he did that, by the way, but he did it. Very, very loyal. Absolute goat. But, yeah, oh, yeah, okay. He spoke words not quite his in an alien tone. With this, our blood, it is the Hanged King's. It is a pretty name. Alagata is such a pretty word. I don't know if it means anything or like where they came up with it, but it's really nice. It rolls off the tongue in a really nice way. Alagata or Alagata, however I don't really care how it's pronounced. I say it either or. I mainly call it Alagata or Alagata. I don't really call it Alagata. Anyways, yeah, it's a pretty name. It really is. Look up pictures of it. It's such an aesthetically beautiful place. Like, the sky is yellow. They only have 4 colors in the kingdom, which is black, white, yellow, and red. And, like, the gravity in Alagata is really weird, so they'll have, like, bridges that go, like, sideways, or they'll have, like, stairs that go, like, upside, like, their staircases are crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool. But yeah, I'd seriously recommend that you guys look into this for yourselves. Cause, I don't know, man. Alagata is, like, by far my favorite aspect of the SCP Foundation. And as great as the SCP Foundation is, and as much as I absolutely love it, I don't feel like I would still be, like, such a massive fan if Alagata wasn't a part of it. Cause, like, part of the reason that I like Dio so much is, like, his story, like, before he became Dio. Or, like, especially, like, pre-containment days, like, even when he was, like, on Earth, like, just being a stage actor and stuff. It's his whole history that makes him, like, my favorite character. And, I don't know, I feel like that's partially why people don't really understand why he's my favorite, because a lot of people don't know about Alagata. They don't know about, like, him being a royal jester, the Black Lord, Alagata. They don't know about any of that. Oh, it's a Pali word for water snake. There's a story of Alagata named after, like, a snake, like the snake of the garden or something. I'll have to look that up. Maybe we can read it. Not next stream is gonna be for the Plague Doctor, because I'm being him for Halloween. It's just gonna be, like, a short hour stream, because I want to go trick-or-treating. Not for candy, but for my sister. But anyways. But then after that is gonna be Containment Breach, playing that game again, because a lot of you guys miss me playing that game, and honestly it's fun to do it, and it makes good clips for my channel since I started doing shorts now. But how about after that, we do more Alagata stories? Because, listen, when I read a lot of SCPs, this is crazy, actually, and I'm so glad for you guys doing this. Normally, I don't have a problem with you guys doing what I'm about to say, but normally when I talk about SCPs from the wiki in this chat that is, like, not Alagata related, normally people kind of get bored. and my viewers drop, and, like, the people that do stay keep themselves entertained by, like, role-playing with themselves in my chat, which is totally cool. It's funny, it's fine, I don't care. But, like, right now, like, you guys are actually really invested in- I don't usually get people that make, like, comments and questions on, like, the things that I read from the wiki. Like, usually, like, the chat isn't that interested in what I'm saying, they're more interested in, like, me and, like, talking about, like, other certain SCPs that they like. And that's totally fine. But I just wanted to point out that it's so different, this stream, because you guys are actually really, really different. You guys are, like, really invested in Allegata, which, if I wasn't on camera, I'd probably start crying. But anyways, yeah, you guys, I love Allegata so much, so this is genuinely making me so happy. I don't know, I made the art for Dio, by the way, to cope with the trauma. I don't even know if he deserved it at the time. Like, I don't know. I feel so... I don't know how to describe it. I'm just gonna call it the sound waves of fiction. There are so many fictional characters who are, like, good people, but they're loyal to bad people because they're often, like, manipulated, and they don't really understand that the people that they, like, look up to are bad people. For example, Soundwave from Transformers really idolizes Megatron, because Megatron wanted to, like, abolish slavery, and, you know, he wanted to, like, empower, the miners and the slaves and whatnot of Cybertron, and Soundwave became really loyal to Megatron, at least in, like, Prime and, like, other... it changes with the iteration and the canon, obviously, but that's generally how it goes. But yeah, I don't know, Megatron becomes, like, corrupted over time, he becomes a warlord, and I feel like Soundwave just, like, admired Megatron so much that, like, he became corrupted too, but, like, he still genuinely really believes in the Decepticon cause, you know? And that's why he's doing it, because he kind of believes what he's doing is right, and he kind of believes that Megatron is right, even though he's not. I don't know. I guess, like, Jay is kind of like that for Murder Drones. You know, she's, like, really loyal to, like, Sin and, like, the whole, like, JC Jensen everything, because, like, she believes in, like, the humans' cause, and she really wants to, like, appeal, and, like, you know, she does it for, like, self-validation, like, she wants to be, like, approved, she wants to be, like, the best, or whatever, you know, and she's not really fighting for a good cause, but I guess she kind of thinks she is. I don't know, I don't really have a word for that type of character, but you see it all the time. If you're me, I guess. I notice it a lot. I don't know, like, it kind of reminds me of that. Like, maybe Dio wasn't a bad person, and he was just loyal to the king for, like, reasons similar to Soundwave, you know? Or I don't know, maybe the two of them were complete bastards, I don't know. But yeah. If Allegata were real and we had a way of going there, I would not do it, bro. Okay, well... I agree with Hawk. Okay, well that's your guys' opinions. I don't know, maybe I'm just bored. I would go there. It's the world is absolutely horrible. Like, it's just filled with, like, evil and pain and insanity everywhere. It's an extremely dangerous place, and you would likely go insane. But, like, it's so cool, and it's so pretty. I don't know. I'd go there for the plot or whatever. I don't know, I'd go there. I'm not saying it would be a smart decision. I'm not saying I would be okay going there. I'm not saying it would be safe. I'd do it. I do it. Oh, Hawk, you don't know. Okay, I read this on one of those like fan wikis, so take it with a grain of salt, like heavy salt, but like the people of Aligata are like way more crazy than you'd think. According to I don't know, I never Googled to confirm this. I was just skimming through like a fan wiki once, and it's what I came across. I don't know if it's canon or not, but do I even say this? I don't think I should. I don't know, people do things, together on the streets in, like, kind of piles, let's just say it like that. At least, I don't know, at least according to I don't know if that's accurate or not, but yeah, people are fucking wild in Aligata. Like, think of, like, the craziest city that you know for, like, their crackheads or whatever, or, like, their people. Like, you know how they make fun of New York for having, like, batshit insane people? Like, the most insane New Yorker is the most sane Aligatian, or however you would say it. Yeah, no, they're absolutely wild, but there's still charm in it, you know? It's still a really, really beautiful place. It just needs a little bit of fixing up, okay? Vote Dio for Lord. You know. Anyways. Does Aligata have its own language? I don't believe so. I believe they're English. Which is what still leads me to, I don't know, I heard from another, I think it was I don't know where I heard this from, so take it with a grain of salt. I heard that it was an Italian city, but now that I'm really thinking about it and reading it, I don't know, because the gates, the way that you get into Aligata from Earth is a portal in London, which is in England. And everything, like, said in quotes here is said in English. I don't know, I'm more on the side of leaning that it is in England, and whatever I read is just not accurate. I don't know. I mean, the people here are fucking insane. And not that nice. That's like pretty British, if you ask me. I don't know. But anyways. Oh yeah, so Dio went and got the cup with everyone's blood, and, well, he gave it to the Hanged King, and he said, with this, our blood. It is the Hanged King. By the way, Olivia, I absolutely love the questions. I never get people this interested in what I'm reading, so the fact that I'm reading about my favorite thing right now, and you guys are, like, genuinely really interested in this, and, like, want to learn more about it yourself, it's touching my soul. And that's really hard to accomplish. Unless you're a centipede, or a dog, or a cat. So anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. The king took the cup, but his hand was broken and pierced by the sharp blades of the throne. This is kind of like the stupidest thing Dio's ever done, was handing the king the cup instead of just, like, feeding it to him. I don't blame him, though. Anyways. The scarred hand trembled hard and was too weak to hold it. I shouldn't be laughing. Dio would not want me to laugh at this. The cup then fell on the floor, and the blood spilled on his new court. We need a movie or series based on that? Oh my god. This one artist, I forgot what their name was, this one artist made, like, such a beautiful, like, movie poster for, like, a Netflix series for Aligata. So gorgeous. It had the Plague Doctor in it, too. I believe it was, like, the Plague Doctor because the Plague Doctor... Oh, yeah, that's another thing you guys might like to hear about. Whenever I mention the Plague Doctor, everybody suddenly becomes very, very interested in what I have to say, so I'm just kind of putting a multiplier on this. The Plague Doctor also is involved with Alagata. He's not native to it, he wasn't there for all of this. I believe he joins at a later date. I forgot how. I think it's just kind of because he's like a traveling man, he just kind of, I don't know, pre-containment days, he just kind of floated around Europe, going from one place to the next, kind of, you know, curing people and whatever. So, yeah, he's French and British, so it would make sense that, you know, he would have been maybe exploring, traveling, whatever, and then he came across the portal to Alagata. Lucky bastard. But anyways, could Dio just feed the blood to him? I believe so, or at least he could have helped him stabilize the cup. Yeah, listen, Dio was incredibly intelligent. But both as the Black Lord and as Dio, he kind of makes stupid choices sometimes. As we all do, you know, he's human. You know, we're all human. But yeah, he could have just helped him drink it, but he handed him the cup fully. And basically the king was so old and frail, he was like, and then he fucking spilled everything. Imagine being that, like, imagine seeing that as Dio. Holy shit. Like, imagine, like, the person that you look up to the most. Like, the person that you would do anything for. Like, your favorite person ever. Like, you are so loyal to this person. Like, you'd do anything for them. You literally come back to life after being, like, brutally murdered by a whole mob of people. And one of the first things that you do is you gather a drop of everyone's blood in Alagata, in a whole fucking city. Listen, I know there wasn't much of the population left, but that's still a lot of people. Got everyone's blood, put it into a single cup, and you give it to this person that you admire so much for them to, like, finally, like, be okay again, and for them to finally get their wish granted of being, like, immortal forever. And then you watch them fucking spill the cup right in front of you. That would be fucking horrifying. I'm gonna be honest. Like, objectively, from a it's just a story, and this is the real world standpoint, it's kind of funny, but, like, at the same time, it's really not. But anyways, yeah, he spilled the fucking cup, meaning he was kind of cursed to live in this state of agony forever. Like, he was just screwed. He had one chance, and he spilled it on the floor. But anyways, the crows who had been watching laughed again with their voices, with their harsh voices, and left. They left the city as the dead stood up again, bending their broken body to resemble the human form. They walked the new twisted streets, putting on masks to cover their bloodied faces, and they started to cheer as they did when they were alive on the day they took the palace. They paraded in the new city and started a carnival, as if the tragedy was a grand masquerade all along. They laughed and laughed until the king started to cry and scream, but his throat could not make a single sound, so he merely wept in silence. So the city was ruled forever by the hanged king. Like, technically, remember the ambassador. I don't think this story does not mention the ambassador, so we'll talk about that another time. But anyways, with the masked dead, oh yeah, I read that. They were haunted and wait, what? Oh yeah, but even those who had fled the city when the hanged king, or when the king was hanged, found no peace. They were haunted in waking moments and in dreams, for whispers of the twisted city had found their hidings. They dreamed of a masquerade of corrupted souls, through the long hallways of a labyrinth down to the hanged king's grand court. And when they woke up, they would shake in fear, but they could not forget what they had seen, as if the city of decay and rapture had taken root in their minds. So they wrote dramas and poems about the cursed city, composed songs and paintings of the damned king, some of them lost and forgotten, but those survived the long history will bring their viewers to the hanged king's reach. And outside the twisted alleys of the kingdom, beyond the spiked throne of the hanged king, the crows all laugh and fly away, but their eyes shall always be watching. Oh, hi, Alex! That concludes the story. That concludes And So the Crows Laughed. It's kind of a long one, but definitely a very, very, very worthy read. It also does come with a poem that we could quickly go through. Oh wait, this is long. No, it's not. It's not that long. It just looks long. But anyways. Oh, I don't know. I'll wait until my sister says we gotta go, and then we'll go. I don't know how much longer I got, but I don't know. All I gotta do is take off the onesie and put some shoes on, then I'm ready to go out, so no big deal. But anyways. Ew. Let's read this poem. I actually don't remember this. Maybe I didn't read it the first time, but I don't know. There comes the king and his crowd. His subjects turned against him, taking his crown. The cheering comes with flames of hate, burning and raging, bringing the palace down. Okay, I don't think it's meant to rhyme. Gold and diamonds scatter on the ground. Oh, bodies of the royal lie all around. A mask from masquerade stained and broken, as his ruling falling apart, whatever. Rags on his body, chains all around, the king old and weak, losing his power. A crow laughs and a jester cries. The skeleton of a lion roars but halts. Upon the old tree, the king was hanged. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Whatever. Like the format, I mean. Anyways, his former subjects silently watch. The chains are rusted and the rope is long. Strangles and tightens, squeezing the breath out. The king mumbles and whispers as he lingers, praying to the dark gods we know not about. We do. Life slips from his body, but death's comes not. His eyes cold and empty, his voice speaks of dark. Half alive when he is buried, half dead when he escapes, coming back to reclaim his kingdom, with the blood and rage and horrors from beyond. But a dead king rules not the living, until the living too finds their tombs. So the old kingdom is destroyed once more, only to build a new one for no mortal soul. And thus the hanged king sits in his palace, his lords serve him with broken masks. But the chains bind him with pain and torment, and the crows of death shall forever watch. Pretty sure the crows, are the brothers of death, too. But anyways, or at least some of them. That was the end of the poem. So, I guess that concludes what I wanted to read. at least for now, we'll definitely be reading more stories from Alagata. Are there other cities in the world that Alagata is in? No. So Alagata is a single dimension, but it is one city. It is one kingdom, and it is completely surrounded by a black sea. And we're not really sure what exactly the water is composed of. I find it kind of interesting, though, that it's like a whole sea of black liquid, and that, like, Dio also streams black liquid. But anyways, yeah, no, Alagata is, yeah, it's an island. Yeah, it's a pretty big kingdom, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think I talked about this on one stream, but, the actual, like, SCP document for Alagata states that there's, like, no, like, measurement of how big Alagata is. But I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere else on the wiki that's, like, a pretty big city. Like, it's at least, like, miles long. Like, it's pretty big. But yeah, it is just one place. No one can come or go. So... Okay, yes, people can get into Alagata. I'm not really sure how easy it is to leave. I believe you need a key for the Janus Gates, which is the, like, portal from Alagata to Earth, which I don't think is easy to get at all. Also... You can get to Earth, from Earth to Alagata using a gate, or like a portal in London, specifically. It's in the Tower of London. Okay, that was weird. The page, like, refreshed on its own. Anyways. Yeah. SCP sounds cool, but I don't want to get traumatized. What do I do? Okay. Yeah, the SCP Foundation can be quite traumatizing, that is right. There is no subject that the SCP Foundation as a whole, will not touch. Like really, like, it can get very, very, very badly dark sometimes, and it can go into some very sensitive subjects that on their rule, when you go to submit an SCP in the wiki, it explicitly tells you that they don't often do very dark subjects, and you have to be really careful with how you portray certain things. But like I said at the beginning of the stream, there's an SCP that I don't think handles that very well at all. I feel like they just use very, very dark and triggering subjects just for the sake of being, like, extra evil and edgy, and, like, I don't know, I don't like it at all. I think Alagata is the perfect example of something being incredibly, incredibly dark and tragic, while not needing to get into, like, heavy, like, it doesn't need to rely on, like, really heavy subjects, like abuse and certain types of assaults and, like, predatory nature. Like, you guys heard what I read. This is horrible. But the reason why it's so dark is because the writing is so, like, it's so, is intricate the right word? Like, it's so, like, it's just a good story, you know? They don't need to really touch subjects like that to achieve that, like, kind of heavy feeling that it gives you to read, you know what I mean? Especially with the yeah, it's brutal, it's gory, it's dark, it's horrible, it's gross at times. But it never, like, you know, there's a certain SCP on the wiki that I really don't like because I feel like it's just completely failing at the vibe that Allegata has, that, like, dark vibe of being, like, really horrible and nasty and vile and evil and madness, and I don't know, the SCP that I'm talking about isn't, like, really related to Allegata at all, but I don't know, I feel like it's just gross. Like, the way that they use it is just gross, and I don't know why it's still in the wiki. It is very overhyped. It is a very overhyped SCP, and unfortunately, it's one of those SCPs that is, like, connected to other ones. I don't know, man. Like, people always overhype it as, like, oh, one of the most overpowered SCPs. It's fucking not. Like, it's not even. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like they let an edgelord make, like, an overpowered, godlike SCP that's so evil and stuff. It's just gross. Like, to me, it's just gross. Like, it's not even good. Like, everything that I've ever read or heard about that SCP doesn't interest me whatsoever, and it's just fucking gross. I don't like it. But then again, they do usually handle subjects like that pretty well. I don't personally read about certain topics because I find them, like, very, very upsetting. Like, it will damage me mentally for, like, a long time if I, like, am exposed to certain topics. But I will say that, Dr. Clef, as a character, goes, it kind of leans on a lot of, like, dark subjects and things that are, like, really not fun to read about, but it's very well done because it comes from, like, the author's own experiences, and it's very, like, it's realistic, it's respectful, it's not done for, like, the edge factor, it's more done for, like, I guess, like awareness and to make people, like, understand, like, how serious these things are. Yeah, there are a lot of, like, very messed up things and subjects within, like, the SCP Foundation, and yeah, some of them are extremely triggering and very dark. I love Dr. Glass, don't even get me started. I love Dr. Glass. But yeah, typically it's done very respectfully, aside from that one SCP that I fucking hate, and I really wish that it wasn't as big as it is. But anyways, I probably don't look very intimidating going like this with my fucking dog onesie, but I meant those two figures. Anyways, yeah, so typically if a subject is dark in a way that is not appropriate for minors, typically they will have a warning at the beginning of the article just saying, like, hey, this article contains, like, 18 plus topics or, like, triggering topics. So if you don't want to be traumatized, number one, I would recommend looking out for that warning in the beginning. And number two, if you want to, I do this sometimes when I'm researching certain articles, but I don't have enough time to read, like, entire stories. What you can do is Google the title of whatever you want to read, and go and find a summary of it on Reddit. Normally, you can just look up, like, the title of, like, an SCP story, and you'll usually see, like, a Reddit article being like, hey, what's up with this tale? Or, can somebody summarize this SCP for me? Or, hey, what is this story all about? And normally if you click on it, a lot of people in the replies will just give you, like, a summarized version of the story, and you can kind of see what it's about without reading the entire thing and potentially exposing yourself to darker themes. So yeah, there's plenty of SCPs that are very comedic in nature. There's like a plant SCP that throws tomatoes at people depending on how bad the joke is that they tell the plant. And if you tell a joke like seriously bad, it can like throw the tomato so hard that it could kill you. It's kind of funny. There's another, I mean, 999 is a great example of, like a peaceful, nice SCP. There's lots, there's that one snake SCP that can only speak with the letter S's. There's like dog SCP, like Patches. I don't know what Patches' number is. You'll just have to search up Patches the dog SCP, which is literally just a dog SCP. There's a lot of, like, wholesome SCPs, there's a lot of cute SCPs, there's a lot of peaceful SCPs, there's a lot of, like, I don't know, did I say wholesome yet? There's a lot of funny SCPs, I don't know, there's a lot of ones that are more lighthearted, you know. Imagine getting your joke rejected by a plant and getting a tomato thrown at you, lol. Ouch. Where's Squishy? Oh, I put Squishy down when I was showing off my onesie. I like my violent SCPs. I don't like, it's not the violence that I'm drawn to, but I do like a lot of the more, like, dangerous SCPs. I mean, most notably Dio, obviously. Here's Squishy. I put him on my bed. But yeah. I don't know. I have my reasons for liking Dio. Okay. I'm not gonna get too much into this, but I feel like I can talk a little bit about it, because, I don't know, we're at the end of the stream, and I highly doubt that people are gonna watch this stream after it's done and, like, get to the end. So I highly doubt a lot of people are gonna see this. Without getting too deep into it, part of the reason that I like Dio so much is because during the time that I was always like an SCP fan, but I was kind of more surface level for the first few years, and obviously I'm an artist, and I wanted to start trying to do like new things with my art. And one of the things that I wanted to start doing was experimenting with, like, making, like, props and, like, masks. Like real-life masks from scrap. So I was like, that could be really fun, and that could also be, like, a good, like, form of income for me, because if I find that it works well for me, maybe I could start, like, making and selling masks to people. That would be really cool. I was like, I would like to do that. Let me see, you guys want to see Squishy? I'll put him on my shoulder, because if he's on my lap, you guys won't be able to see him. He makes me look fucking grayscale. But anyways, he's like marigold, and this is like beige. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Literally, oh yeah. So I started I made Dio as my first mask. It was my first and last. It was very difficult to make. It's very difficult to make masks. And it was also very expensive for me to get the supplies, because obviously I didn't have a 3D printer. I don't have that kind of money. Didn't have that kind of money then. So I made masks out of foam, and like Ava foam, which is like what cosplayers use to make props. And like, it's very complicated. I had like a whole I still have the mask. I'll go and get it for you guys. But I made it by like layering like foam and like cutting parts out and like sanding it down, painting it over, like adding things to it. Where is it? It's somewhere in my closet. I really hope you guys can't see it right now. It's a mess. I don't know, it's somewhere in here. Or is it still... No, Is it, from where I'm standing, I look creepy as fuck right now. That's fucking scary. Oh my god. Mascot horror. Oh yeah, foam clay as well. So yeah, technically I did make things out of clay. I used like Ava foam clay, paint. I used all like super glue. Oh god, the super glue. I did a lot to make this mask. Keep in mind, I made it when I was like what, like 17 to 19? No, probably like closer to like 18. Yeah, I think I just turned 18. Ugh. Okay, I can't open that drawer. So it's probably not. Oh, here it is. Oh boy. Yeah, keep in mind this is also like a few years old, so it's a little. Anyways. But yeah, eventually I ended up making this out of foam clay. This is literally. That's kind of gross, actually. This is icing. That's kind of gross. I gotta wash this thing off, but yeah. So I made this, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I don't want to sell this because it kind of looks bad to me, and it's my first time ever making a mask. So I was like, what do I do? So I was like, why don't I just wear it for Halloween? Like, I'll just be SCP-035 for Halloween. And I'm like, you know what? I've been an SCP fan for so long, and I barely know anything about SCP-035. So I looked up his lore, and I was absolutely shocked by everything. That I had no idea that he had that much lore. It was like learning about like Alagata and the Black Lord and his time on Earth before containment and some of the things that he did in containment, like centuries worth of lore, right? All very, very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, oh my god, the lore. But yeah, I don't know, I kinda, what is the word, like, resonated with Dio, because I noticed there was a common theme throughout all of his, like, no matter who he was written, whether it was, like, the Black Lord and, like, the Alagata stories, or it was, like, the SCP, like, containment stories, I noticed that, like, I don't know, Dio is staggeringly resilient as a character. She noticed me. Hi Soap is Yummers. Oh, is it? That's a nice name. But anyways, yeah, Dio literally was so like independent and resilient, like staggeringly so. Like, even when his entire kingdom fell apart and the one person that he idolized, like, fell into an agonizing state for the rest of his life, stuck on a throne, even when, like, other lords turned against him and forced him to be exiled out of his own city, and he had to live as, like, that's how he became the Mask, by the way. Because I might be getting this wrong, but I believe the ambassador comes in, curses everyone to be bound to their masks, so, like, their masks are part of their souls, or, like, their souls are in their masks. So when Dio is scheduled for execution because the other lords betrayed him, he's in jail, and one of his servants, because he has his own servants, one of his servants come up to him with the key to get from Alagata to Earth, to escape. And what Dio does is, because he can't get out of, like, the jail cell, he can't get out of the jail cell, like, you know. So what he does is, because his soul is in the mask, he cuts his own face off. What the fuck? Is it just me, or is the room? What the fuck? It must be something to do with the lighting. What the fuck? Anyways. Come here, Squishy. Anyways. Yeah, Aura, I guess. I don't know. Was that just my, like, sight getting... Yeah, it's the focus thingy. Yeah, it's gotta be a camera thing. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, anyway, yeah, he cut off his own face. And, like, he wore, like, he used, like, his assistant, or, like, his, the guy that got him the key as a host to escape. He fled to Earth, and even on Earth, he literally lost everything. He lost his body, he lost his king, he lost his royal status, he lost his home, he lost the people, like, he lost everything. But he kept going, and he built himself up as a stage actor, and he still made something for himself, you know? And like, even when he got caught by the SCP Foundation, and then he was taken into containment, as I just read in the beginning of this stream, he never gives up. Like, if they put him in a glass box, he'll just make it fucking blow up. Or if they put him in a cell, he'll just make the walls corrode and rot. If there are, like, groups of people that try to keep him in containment, he'll just make them game over themselves. Dio is so persistent and resilient, and he is so, like, independent. Like, even with no body and no body, he can still, like, do something incredible for himself, and he can still be something very impressive and worthy of, like, respect, you know? It's not, that's why I say it's not about the morals, okay? I don't like the murder mask, I don't agree with the things that he does all the time. It's the fact that he's just so, I don't know, he really taught me that I don't need anyone or anything to, like, be something important, you know, to do something with my life that I actually want to be doing, you know? And at the time, I'm not gonna get into this, but I was in a, like, not good relationship, and, like, I don't know, I kind of learned to be independent and not depend on people for validation or, you know, to feel, like, important or whatever. So I ditched that guy. And I kind of fucked off some friends that I had, well, like, only, like, people that were connected to him. And it was great, like, it was the best decision I ever made. I was so happy single, and even today, I've never got back with anyone, like, I've never gotten with anyone ever. I've been single ever since. I love it, I'm telling you guys. I don't know, I've, like, literally never been happier. Also, thank you, Soap, that's really, oh, okay, you guys are being really, thank you guys, thank you, I'm a star. But yeah, I don't know, man, I really like Dio because, I don't know. Aww, you guys are so sweet. But yeah, anyways, it kind of just taught me that, like, I don't need anything to be someone. Single for 2 decades? Huh, I didn't know that. You've been single for, well, I don't know. I do want to clarify, though, both of my relationships were long distance, thank God. I don't even think I would be alive today if they weren't, but, yeah. They were still pretty bad, but they were, you know, nothing... No, at the very least, nothing physical happened, but anyways, they weren't the best. But anyways, I hate long-distance I would never do it again. I have zero faith in long-distance I don't care. If you get into a long-distance relationship, I'm happy for you, and I hope that it works out. I personally would never, ever, that's like one of my I will never, ever do long-distance, ever. I would advise you all to at least try and date IRL, but anyways. Yeah, I'm happy being a single Pringle. Yeah, so am I. I don't know. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. a really resilient kid, don't get me wrong. As a kid growing up, I was like super was like persistent, but it was more because I was gifted as a kid. Like, as a kid, I was just like really smart, and I was like a good kid. Like, I was like the favorite child out of 4 children. I was the teacher's pet in every single classroom. I got like the best grades. I was like one of the most popular kids. I was like the kid that was like friends with everyone, but like not in the way that was like friends with everyone is friends with no one. Like, I still had like a close circle. I just got along with everyone well. I don't know. And I feel like that was part of the reason that, like, I was so, like, persistent as a kid, because it just came so easy to me, right? But then, like, you grow up and, like, academic burnout, and then, like, the real life hits you in reality, and you start to fall behind with things, and, you know, I feel like I kind of lost speed at the time, and, you know, validation kind of became an issue. Not gonna get into all of that, but I feel like SCP-035 is really the thing that helped me, like, find that, like, motivation to keep going again? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I think he'll always be my favorite character, like, forever. I love him so much. He is literally me, kinda, but not really. But yeah. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know when we're supposed to be leaving. I should probably go check on that. I'm surprised that my sister hasn't texted me saying it's time to go. So I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna end off the yapping session here. And I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to drop my sister off at dance. She has nobody to drop her off. I gotta get out of... This thing is hot. I might just take it off now. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, look. You guys want to see a surprise? V from Murder Droves. It's my shirt. And I'm gonna change out of these pants, so I only changed into them because they're comfortable with the onesie. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go. And I'll see you guys for my Wildcraft stream tomorrow. Then, I don't know. I'll post shorts every day. Just little things from my live stream moments on Containment Breach. Because that's been going fairly well for me so far. I just want to try experimenting with shorts a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna get the frick out of here. I'll see you guys later. You guys have an amazing... Oh, Moosey, I'll check it out tomorrow. Trust. I gotta go now, but promise I'll check it out tomorrow. Remind me. Okay? Bye! See you guys. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. See you. I'll be posting every day on shorts. I'll have a new video out for Friday, and then Friday will be a Halloween stream where I'll be the Plague Doctor, so that's gonna be terrifying. Goodbye, guys! Have a good one. Have a good Friday.